Most men play the game without even knowing the rules, and that's why they lose. Today, I'll give you the war plan they never wanted you to see. There comes a moment when you realize the life you've been living isn't yours. The beliefs you carry, the habits you repeat, even the emotions you feel on cue, they were all planted there by someone else. Parents who wanted obedience, teachers who wanted compliance. A culture that wanted you soft, predictable, and easy to manage. You've been walking through life on a blueprint that was never designed to make you powerful. It was designed to make you safe. But safe is just another word for trapped. And here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. You can't tweak that blueprint. You can't patch it, paint over it, or rearrange the furniture in a house built on sand. You have to burn it completely. That means killing the false confidence you've been selling to yourself, the one built on validation from others. It means breaking the addiction to approval that makes you say yes when every bone in your body is screaming no. It means cutting out the watered-down ambition that keeps you dreaming small so you can fit in. Because fitting in has never built a throne. Comfort is the most beautiful coffin you'll ever lie in. It's velvet-lined, it's warm, it feels safe, and it will bury you long before your body hits the ground. Rebirth is never gentle. It is violent, not in the way of fists or rage, but in the way of tearing down walls you once thought were home. In the way of shattering the mirrors that only reflected the version of you the world approved of. When you strip away everything you've been told to be, what's left is raw, sharp, and untested. That's good, because steel is forged in fire, not comfort. Burning the old blueprint is not about becoming reckless, it's about becoming deliberate. It's about building a new design from the ground up, one that is unshakable because it was created by your own hands, not handed to you with invisible chains attached. Yes, it will hurt. You will feel like you're losing pieces of yourself. But understand, you're not losing you. You're losing the cage that held you. The world will try to convince you to keep parts of that cage. They'll say, you don't have to change everything. They'll offer you half measures, compromises, easy exits. But remember this, the old you is clever. It will whisper in your ear to hold on to just one comfort, just one safety net. And that's all it needs to drag you back. If you want to rise, you must be willing to set fire to who you were, without leaving a single corner unburned. So ask yourself, are you ready to destroy the version of you that was designed to be obedient? Are you ready to step into the fire, knowing it will strip you bare, but also knowing that when you emerge, you'll be unrecognizable, untouchable, and unstoppable? Because the man who burns his past has nothing left to lose and everything to claim. Most people think strength is about what you can do to others. The truth, real strength, is about what you can stop yourself from doing. A man who cannot control himself will never control anything else. Think about the last time someone said something that cut deep. Maybe they insulted you. Maybe they disrespected you in front of others. Did you react? Did you snap back? Did you show them they got to you? If you did, they owned you in that moment. Here's the hard rule. If it triggers you, it owns you. If it owns you, it beats you. And if it beats you, you're still weak. From this moment on, you must learn to master the space between the spark and the flame. That small pause before you react. That pause is power. It's the difference between being a pawn and being a strategist. Your emotions are not the enemy, but they are not the truth either. They are tools if you use them with precision. Anger, it's fuel. Burn it in the engine, not in the streets. Fear, it's information. Study it, map it, use it to prepare. Sadness, it's deep. Let it sharpen your focus instead of drowning you. The world teaches men to be emotionally available, but in reality, most people just want you emotionally open so they can emotionally manipulate you. That ends now. From here forward, your silence will speak louder than any outburst. You will become the man who doesn't flinch when provoked, who doesn't rush to defend himself when accused, who lets others bark and flail while you watch and wait. Because when people lose control, they reveal themselves. They show you their weaknesses, their desperation, their tells. And you stay unreadable. This doesn't mean you become passive. Control is not passivity. It is calculated restraint. It is the art of letting others destroy themselves while you remain untouched. Think of a locked vault. No matter how many times someone knocks, shakes, or tries to pry it open, it remains still. That's you. A weapon with a safety switch only you can access. The next time someone pushes your buttons, don't push back. Watch them. Study them. Let them believe they've won while you're collecting the data you need to win for real. If you can't control your face, they'll read it. If you can't control your tone, they'll hear it. If you can't control your words, they'll twist them. But if you master those three: face, tone, silence, you become untouchable. You are your own handler now. From this day on, you carry yourself like a man who knows the battlefield isn't out there. It's in your own head. Win there first, and the rest will follow. So remember, the man who reacts loses. The man who pauses rules. Most people are taught to fear their darkness. They're told that anger is dangerous, that fear makes you weak, that ambition is selfish. So they bury it. They lock it away. They pretend it isn't there. And yet when life tests them, when betrayal cuts deep, when everything they've built starts to collapse, they break. Not because they lacked light, but because they had no mastery over the dark. Here's the truth no one told you. Your darkness is not your enemy. It is your unused power, raw, sharp, and waiting to be shaped. Anger is not just rage. Fear is not just panic. Ambition is not just greed. Each one is a weapon in the hands of the man who knows how to wield it. Imagine this. Every betrayal you've ever endured, every insult you've swallowed, every failure that's haunted you, you can throw them away, or you can stack them brick by brick and build a fortress. Pain doesn't have to be a prison. It can be your foundation. But you can't just unleash your darkness without discipline. That's not power. That's chaos. A man who is consumed by his rage is no different from a man controlled by fear. Both are slaves to what they refuse to master. Integration is the key. Suppression creates weakness. But control, real control, comes when you sit with your demons long enough to make them work for you. A man who pretends he's all peace and love will crumble when the storm hits, because he's never faced the part of himself that's capable of destruction. But a man who has looked his darkest instincts in the eye and said, "I see you, and you answer to me," that man is untouchable. Think of a warhorse, powerful, dangerous, capable of crushing anything in its path, but trained, directed, and loyal to its rider. That's your darkness when it obeys you. When you can channel your anger into discipline, your fear into preparation, your ambition into relentless pursuit, you stop being a man who's merely good. You become a man who's effective. And in this world, effectiveness is respected far more than purity. People may not understand you. They may feel the weight of your presence without knowing why, but that's the point. Your darkness, properly trained, becomes the quiet force that shifts the atmosphere when you walk into a room. So stop hiding from it. Step into it. Shape it. Make it serve your mission. The weak man fears his edge. The strong man wields it. Your war isn't against the shadows inside you. Your war is to make them march in formation. Because when your darkness obeys you, there is nothing and no one that can stand in your way. Before you can win any battle, you must first see it. Not just with your eyes, but with your mind. Observation is the first weapon of the strategist. It's the ability to walk into a room and know more than you're saying. to read the way someone's eyes dart when they're hiding something, to notice the micropause before they answer, to feel the shift in their tone when truth brushes too close. Most people never develop this skill. They stumble through life blind, not because their sight is gone, but because they've trained themselves to assume. To assume the mask someone wears is their real face. That's why they're easy to read and easy to defeat. Machiavelli understood something simple. People rarely act in your best interest. They act in their own. And what you see on the surface is often a crafted illusion. A handshake doesn't always mean friendship. A smile doesn't always mean trust. So, you must stop guessing and start studying. Observation is not about being cold, it's about being precise. The man who studies without reacting sees the attack before it comes. He notices the tightening of a jaw, the defensive shift in posture, the way someone over-explains a simple answer. These are not coincidences. These are tells. Think of yourself like a sniper. No wasted bullets, no wasted emotion. Every move is calculated. Every reaction delayed until you have the advantage. And here's the key. Observation isn't just about spotting threats. It's about finding opportunities. Who in the room needs to be seen? Who's trying too hard to be liked? Who's filling every silence because they're afraid of it? These patterns reveal where influence can be gained without ever raising your voice. When you truly master observation, you no longer intimidate with noise, you disarm with silence. You don't tell people you're powerful. You let them feel it in the way you watch without rushing to speak. The goal isn't manipulation. The goal is survival and leverage. In a world where everyone is performing, the one who sees behind the curtain holds the real power. So, practice this daily. Speak less than you listen. Watch more than you move. Let others reveal themselves while you keep your cards close. Because once you see the game for what it is, you stop being a pawn and start becoming the player who decides how it ends. You've been told to just be yourself. It sounds noble, but in the real world, it's dangerous advice. Authenticity is a luxury. Adaptation is survival. The men who rise to the top understand this. You do not need to be 100% real with everyone. You need to be effective. And effectiveness means knowing which face to show and when. This isn't lying, it's strategy. The same way a chess player doesn't reveal his next move, you don't reveal your entire self. Learn the art of false virtue. Appear kind when the world is watching, but remain dangerous where it counts. Show generosity in public, but keep your sharper edges private. Let them see a smile, not the calculation behind it. Because perception is the currency of power. Control how people see you, and you control how they treat you. If people see you as predictable, they can prepare for you. And a prepared opponent is a dangerous opponent. Mystery keeps them off balance. When they can't quite figure you out, they're forced to approach with caution. Think about the leaders in history who mastered this art. They didn't walk into a room broadcasting their intentions. They let people assume, speculate, and miscalculate. And while everyone else was guessing, they were already 3 moves ahead. This doesn't mean you become fake. It means you become deliberate. You shape the version of yourself that serves your mission in each situation. In negotiation, you might wear the mask of the agreeable ally. In conflict, the mask of controlled calm. In leadership, the mask of unshakable authority. And here's the truth. The world doesn't reward the man who is fully understood. It rewards the man who is felt, but never fully known. Predictability is death to a strategist. Once people can read you, they can manipulate you. Once they know your boundaries, they can test them. Once they know your fears, they can use them. But when you master the mask, you leave them uncertain. Are you their friend or their rival? Are you harmless or dangerous? That tension is power. So stop thinking you owe the world your unfiltered self. You don't did. Your inner world is sacred. It's for you alone. What you show the world is a tool, and tools are used with precision. From this day forward, you are not just a man. You are a collection of masks, each worn with purpose, each removed only in private. Because in the game of power, the one who can shift his face without losing his soul is the one who wins. One of the fastest ways to lose your value in this world is to be too available. If you're always ready to give your time, your energy, your presence to anyone who asks, don't be surprised when people start treating those things like they're worth nothing. Access is a privilege, not a right. From now on, your first language is number. Not maybe later, not let me think about it, not an excuse to soften the blow. Just number. And here's the key. You say it without guilt, without explaining yourself, without looking back. Because every time you over-explain, you hand over control. Every time you feel guilty for protecting your time, you give someone permission to keep taking it. Think about it. Who in your life drains you? Who only calls when they need something? Who reacts badly the moment you stop giving them what they want? Those people aren't just inconveniences, they're liabilities. They weaken your position, they blur your focus, they eat away at the empire you're building. Boundaries are not cruel. Boundaries are architecture, the walls that protect your castle. Without them, anyone can walk in, rearrange the furniture, take what they want, and leave you wondering why you feel empty. The people who get angry when you draw the line are the ones who benefited from you not having one. Let them leave. If they disappear when you say no, they were never loyal to you, only to their access to you. This isn't about being cold for the sake of it. It's about being selective. You are not a public park. You are a fortress, and not everyone deserves the keys. When you learn to guard your time and energy like a king guards his throne, something shifts. People stop assuming you'll always be there. They start respecting the moments when you are. Scarcity creates value. And yes, some will call you selfish. Let them. Selfish people want you to feel bad, so you'll keep giving them what they can't earn. But you are not here to please everyone. You are here to protect what you're building. So audit your circle. Cut the energy leeches. Keep only those who bring loyalty, discipline, or growth. And even then, lock the gates behind them. The truth is simple. No one respects what they can get for free. Make them earn it. Not with flattery, not with guilt, but with value. From this moment on, your boundaries are law, and the man who enforces his own law is the man no one dares to cross. Most people build their circle on feelings. They look for friends who make them laugh, who make them feel accepted, who keep them comfortable. And that's why most people stay exactly where they are. You are not building a social club. You are building an empire. And an empire is not protected by good vibes. It's protected by alliances. An alliance is not about constant fun or emotional closeness. It's about shared objectives, mutual benefit, and loyalty under pressure. The kind of loyalty that doesn't vanish when things get hard. If you want to rise, you have to start thinking like a king choosing his counsel. Who sits at your table matters more than who stands next to you at a party. Ask yourself, does this person make me sharper, stronger, smarter? Do they hold me to a standard or make excuses for my weaknesses? Do they protect my blind spots or do they expose them? If the answer is no, then no matter how much history you share, they are not an ally. They're a weight. And weight will sink even the strongest ship. This is why you must regularly audit your inner circle, your war council. Cut the ones who drain your focus, the ones who disappear when you're not useful, the ones who celebrate your comfort more than your growth. It may feel cold, but this isn't about cruelty. It's about clarity. An empire can only stand if every brick strengthens the wall. One weak brick invites collapse. Remember, not all loyalty is real. Some people stay close because it benefits them, not because they believe in your mission. And when the pressure comes, they will choose themselves. That's not betrayal, that's reality. and reality is your greatest ally if you're willing to face it. True alliances are built on mutual advantage. You bring value, they bring value. No one is truly selfless, and that's fine as long as both sides understand the exchange. So stop collecting friends like souvenirs. Start forging alliances like weapons. Keep your circle small, strong, and strategic. And never be afraid to walk alone until the right people appear, because the wrong people will cost you more than being alone ever will. Your network is your fortress, and every person you let inside those walls should either protect it or help you build it higher. Everything else is noise. Silence is a blade. Not the kind that swings wildly in anger, but the kind that rests in its sheath, sharp and ready, until the perfect moment. Most people fear silence. They rush to fill it with words, jokes, explanations, anything to avoid the discomfort of a pause. But that's where the real power lies, in the space where others reveal themselves. When you stay silent, people start talking. They talk to fill the gap. They confess more than they should. They expose their insecurities, their impatience, their need to be validated. And all the while, you're gathering information without giving anything away. Silence is not absence. Silence is presence without leakage. It forces people to wonder what you're thinking, to question how much you know, to adjust themselves in ways they wouldn't if you were predictable. When you speak less, your words gain weight. If you talk all the time, people stop listening. But if you only speak when you have something worth saying, the room leans in. Every sentence feels deliberate. Every word feels chosen. This is not about being cold or detached. It's about discipline. Knowing that you don't have to respond to every provocation, answer every question, or explain every decision. Because here's the truth. The man who can remain silent in a heated moment owns that moment. The one who can pause before speaking owns the direction of the conversation. And the one who can make others lean into his silence, that's the man who sets the tone without raising his voice. When you control your silence, you control the rhythm. You decide when tension builds and when it breaks. You decide when to withhold and when to strike with a single, perfectly timed word. Think of silence as your invisible armor. It hides your thoughts, shields your intentions, and forces others to reveal theirs first. And in the game of power, the one who knows more and says less wins. So train yourself to be comfortable with it. Sit in a room and let the pauses stretch. Hold your ground when someone tries to bait you into talking. End a sentence early and let it hang. Because silence is not weakness. It is a calculated move, a signal that you are in control of yourself and therefore in control of the room. From this day forward, you don't speak to fill space. You speak to shift the energy. And when you do, every word will land like the drop of a hammer. Pleasure is the softest chain a man will ever wear. It doesn't cut your skin. It doesn't make noise. But it keeps you exactly where the world wants you, distracted, comfortable, and harmless. The truth is, pleasure isn't free. It comes with a price tag you can't see until it's too late. Every lazy morning, every impulsive indulgence, every just this once, they all cost you something. Not in dollars, but in focus, momentum, and power. High-level men understand this. They know discipline is not a burden, it's a signature, a mark that separates those who build from those who consume. Every time you say no to instant gratification, you're not depriving yourself, you're laying another brick in the fortress of your power. The man who can resist what feels good now is the man who will own what matters later. Think of the greatest builders, warriors, leaders in history. They weren't the fastest to chase every urge. They were the ones who could wait, who could hold the line, who could outlast everyone else at the table. Real power doesn't come from speed, it comes from endurance. The world is designed to keep you hungry for the wrong things. Cheap, dopamine, constant validation, easy shortcuts. It trains men to chase the sugar high and call it living. But every hit you take, whether it's food, distraction, or empty entertainment, steals a little more of your edge. Discipline flips the script. It teaches you to choose strategy over impulse, long-term gain over short-term pleasure. And here's the secret: every act of restraint compounds. Skip the comfort today, and tomorrow you're stronger. Skip it tomorrow, and next month you're untouchable. Ask yourself, do you want to feel good in the moment, or do you want to be unstoppable for a lifetime? Because the man who can delay his reward is the man no one can buy, no one can bait, no one can break. He doesn't need the quick fix. He's building something bigger. Your habits today are writing the story of your life. And every time you choose discipline, you write another chapter that ends with you in control. So here's your challenge. The next time you feel the pull of instant gratification, stop. Ask yourself if this choice builds your fortress or chips away at it. If it weakens your position, let it go. Discipline isn't punishment. It's proof that you belong to yourself and not to your impulses. And in the end, that's the only freedom worth having. There is no finish line. Not in power, not in mastery, not in the life you're building. Every day, you are either evolving or decaying. The crown you earn today will be tested tomorrow. And if you think victory is a place to rest, you've already started losing it. Weak men chase a moment when they can finally stop. Strong men look for the next battle not because they love conflict, but because they know strength only exists in motion. The truth is, yesterday's discipline won't protect you today. Yesterday's standards won't keep you sharp. Complacency is the quiet assassin that kills kings in their sleep. You don't defend your position with noise or bravado. You defend it with daily precision, with the refusal to lower your standards, even when no one is watching. So, stop dreaming about arriving. There is no arrival. There's only the climb, the sharpening, the relentless maintenance of the edge that got you here. When the world sees you as unshakable, you work twice as hard to stay that way. When they think you've peaked, you're already preparing for the next war. Because the game never ends, and that's not a curse, it's your greatest advantage. This is not just advice. This is a war plan for the modern man. You've stripped away the lies they fed you, that kindness without boundaries is strength, that vulnerability without discernment will save you. You've burned the old blueprint they handed you, the one designed to keep you obedient, soft, and forgettable. You've learned to control yourself like a weapon, to pause before reacting, to let silence speak louder than your temper. You've taken the raw materials of your darkness, the anger, the fear, the ambition, and forged them into tools you command. You've trained your eyes to see what others hide, to read the room, spot the cracks in the armor, and prepare for strikes before they land. You've mastered the art of the mask-appearing kind while remaining dangerous, shaping how the world sees you so you control the flow of power. You've built ruthless boundaries, protecting your time and energy like the sacred currency they are. You've stopped collecting friends and started forging alliances, people who protect your blind spots, sharpen your mind, and move in step with your mission. You've embraced the power of silence, knowing that every pause is a blade, every withheld word a weapon. You've chosen discipline over indulgence, stacking brick upon brick in the fortress of your power, knowing that true strength comes from endurance, not speed. And above all, you've accepted the truth most men spend their lives running from. The game never ends. There is no finish line, no day when you arrive and can finally rest. Every crown must be defended daily. Every edge must be sharpened again and again. This is the code you live by now. It's not about being liked. It's about being unforgettable. It's about becoming the man who walks into a room and changes its temperature without speaking. The man who is untouchable because his foundation is built on discipline, strategy, and the refusal to bow. Most men will never understand this path. They will choose comfort over clarity, approval over truth, distraction over legacy. Let them. You are not here to be like most men. You are here to be the exception. The weapon in human form, the storm wrapped in skin. So, say it not as a wish, but as a declaration. I am the storm in human form. I am not here to be liked. I am here to rule. From this moment forward, you no longer wait for the game to be fair. You play it on your terms. You set the rules. You decide the pace. And you make every move with the precision of someone who knows. This is not motivation. This is war. If this hit you, don't just leave with inspiration. Leave with weapons. Subscribe now and step into the circle of men who refuse to bow.